Hello, my name is David Getoff. After using BioElectric shields in my practice for over a decade, I felt the need to publicly thank the manufacturer for their shields and the way in which they have greatly helped so many of my patients. Please understand that they did not contact me and ask me for this testimonial. It was I who contacted the BioElectric Shield Company to let them know that I wish to do this as a form of thanks for how much their shields have helped my patients. First, a bit of background information. I am a board-certified clinical nutritionist, a board-certified traditional naturopath, and a fellow of the American Association of Integrative Medicine. I am also an elected member of both the International College of Integrative Medicine and the American College of Nutrition. I am licensed or certified to practice in 3 states, and I have an extremely busy private practice in traditional naturopathy and clinical nutrition in San Diego County, California. For the past 16 years, in addition to my busy practice, I have been teaching a course I developed for the Grossmont-Cuyamaca Community College District entitled Attaining Optimal Health in the 21st Century. Obviously, when it started, it was the 20th century. This is currently a 9-week adult education course taught all 3 semesters of the school year. This course has been taught for 16 years and has been both videotaped and audio taped, and the tapes are available from the nonprofit Price Pottinger Nutrition Foundation, which is and always has been located in California. To begin my story, it is important for you to understand that first and foremost, I believe in science, not foo-foo, not hearsay, and not opinion. Most scientific conferences have what we call vendor halls, as do medical conferences, where dozens or even hundreds of companies display their products, which they are basically advertising to the professionals who are attending the conference. I attend many nutritional medicine conferences every year, and oftentimes there have been companies selling various kinds of devices for protection from EFs, EMFs, electromagnetic fields and electrical fields, and other forms of electrical radiation, such as from wireless devices and cellular or portable telephones. Whenever I asked the representatives what these buttons, crystals, cards, diodes, beads, or pendants were supposed to be doing, they would generally say that they sort of put a protective shield over your body so that the harmful waves or frequencies or energies could not get in and hurt you. I was not born yesterday, and in fact, I worked for 4 years as an electrical design engineer in the early 80s for a manufacturing company. To my knowledge, you cannot in any way shield someone from this kind of radiation, except possibly with something called mu metal or with a large cage device called a Faraday cage, which I'm not going to go into and try to explain to you here. Therefore, I made the assumption that every one of these products was bogus or hype, and since testimonials are not science, I never purchased any, although I always listened to their long song and dance advertising. In 1997, I was at one of the very few public holistic conferences that I occasionally attend, because mostly I go to the professional conferences and seminars. And I noticed a vendor selling something that was called the BioElectric Shield. So, as always, I stopped and asked the woman at the booth what this was and how it worked. This particular woman was the first person whose answers piqued my interest. She said that they didn't really understand exactly how these BioShields worked, but that it contains some kind of matrix of crystals, and that these crystals in some way are supportive to the energy field of the person who wears the shield, and that due to the supportive effects of the crystal's energy, the wearer is not harmed in the same way by the damaging energies in the environment around them. That was interesting. With the aid of muscle testing, she showed me that although I was weakened if I held her cell phone, I didn't have a cell phone at that point, I was not weakened if I was wearing the BioElectric Shield and holding her cell phone. At this point, I need to discuss muscle testing just for a few minutes so you know what I'm talking about. The science of muscle testing, also referred to as applied kinesiology, is an exceptional and yet very controversial method for determining the benefit or detriment of any substance or energy on or to a specific person. Although I find that this technique is most often practiced very poorly and can therefore be used as what I call a bogus selling technique, it is, when used by an objective, well-trained practitioner, an invaluable method of gaining information. This is even more true when it's been used to test the effects of energies, for which we currently have no other real good scientific method of testing. It is my opinion that about 10% of health practitioners who utilize muscle testing are actually doing a quality objective test. This is why the technique is both widely misunderstood and often thought to not be a valid testing method. It took me many years, as well as numerous training seminars that I attended from medical doctors, acupuncturists, nurses, chiropractors, and actually a credentialed physicist, before I realized the tremendous benefits of this fascinating technique and felt comfortable adding muscle testing to the things that I utilize in my own practice. For further information on both muscle testing, as well as on the scientific facts about energies that you most likely don't know, I suggest you read two books. One is entitled The Field, and the other is entitled Measuring the Immeasurable. You may also wish to read my own article on muscle testing, and that's accessible on my website, which is www.davidgetoff.com, and just go to the tab that says Articles, and you will find the muscle testing article. To get back to my story,